All right, guys, this is our weekly overview for September 18th. On Monday, we are kicking off with more of that gymnastic volume and practice work. So you have a Tabata of 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off for 8 rounds. Really want you guys to pick one. If you're really working on strength, you're going to kind of start at the top of this, doing a jumping chest to bar with a slow negative. Maybe getting 5 to 6 reps there. Then you have pull-ups, which, again, if you can just do a kipping pull-up, or even strict if you're working for strength, then that's what we want you to do. And then chest to bars, then bar muscle up. So the skill kind of goes up. But really looking at trying to, at the beginning of this, hit the highest level of skill you can. So even if you were starting at like a kipping chest to bar pull-up or a butterfly chest to bar pull-up, and then you went to pull-ups, and then maybe you ended up at jumping chest to bars as this progressed, that's totally fine. We want to just think about this being quality sets and really trying to drive ourselves forward. So really challenge yourself like on a high level of whatever skill you have, really try to reach there and push a higher skill. After that, we have 15-minute AMRAP, 400-meter run, 12 toes to bar, and 6 strict handstand push-ups. Now, it's written as strict, but obviously if you don't have strict, you could do kipping or even do add a ab mat and raise it up a little bit for those strict. But realistically, this is really trying to just add in some volume on a higher level skill gymnastic. We're obviously going to be a little fatigued in the arms and pulling, so those toes to bar might be a little bit tough. But again, we want to be able to manage those 12 toes to bar and maybe like 2 or 3 sets, maybe 4 sets tops, but really thinking about pushing that run. We're right around 2 minutes, maybe 2:30 at most. We have roughly 30 seconds to do the toes to bar, and then we should only take about another 30 seconds to do those strict handstand push-ups. So we're looking anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes around. So 5 rounds on the high end is what we're looking to do here to give you guys kind of a target. Obviously, we can bring that back to dips, knee raises, whatever we need to do in order to get you guys to able to push the run and then stay steady while you're in here on those gymnastic movements. Tuesday, we have power cleans, times 3, touch and go on the minute for 10 minutes. So 60 to 70% is the target there, but really, if we're just going heavier than last week, so we did those 5s, we want to build on that and be a little bit heavier than what we did. So as long as you guys recorded your sets, you should be able to see what you did, and then we're going a little heavier. After that, we have a little higher intensity Metcon here with those hang power cleans, and then box jump overs is going to be a tall box. Now, I kind of wrote like a 13-minute cap on here, but realistically, this should move pretty quick. If we look at the power cleans or hang power cleans, maybe that's a minute. Those box jump overs, maybe 90 seconds, so we're at 2.5 minutes. So even if we times that by 3, we would be at 7:30 at a top, like on a top end time. So kind of keep that in mind. Is that 7:30 to that 13-minute target is what we're looking for. All right, Wednesday we have on the 4 minutes. We're going to be going for 20 minutes. We have 25 or 20 cal bike erg, 20 dumbbell bench press. So we're going to be on those benches doing dumbbell presses, and then 15 wall balls. Okay, the goal is going to be sub 3 minutes per round. All right, so if we have to bring back the bike calories a little bit, you just look at that fitness option and even hitting a rep range that the fitness is kind of pushing. Again, just being consistent there is what we're going to be looking to do. So being consistent with your reps, coming out, starting out on the bike, you should be able to push fairly hard there and get some time in the bank. And then those 20 dumbbell bench press maybe takes 2 to 3 sets. And then we should obviously be unbroken on those 15 wall balls, not very many there. So really push to finish strong there. Again, 5 rounds, it is going to add up. So it's better to start off and kind of pace yourself and be right at 3 minutes than to try to go really hard, especially like on those bench press sets, because that if you push a massive set on set 1, you may cause a little bit of fatigue leading into the second one. Whereas if you just did manageable sets there on the dumbbell bench press, you would be better suited as far as being able to recover into the next round. But try to keep that bike, whatever calories you do choose to do, to 1 minute is really a good target there. After that, 12-minute EMOM, looking at just pushing volume on those hammer curls, banded tricep push downs, and then banded curls and double dumbbell overhead tricep extensions, and really pushing the elbows to go forward, and then we're straight up here with 2 dumbbells, just pushing straight up. That's what we're looking to do, is really working on extending at the tricep. Again, choose weights that you can move consistently for 30 seconds. This is obviously going to be a big pump. We have 3 rounds here, so we're really just looking on just kind of hammering the arms to kind of finish strong here today. All right, then on Thursday, not the most sexy workout we've written on Thursdays, but again, trying to focus on going back. We've done this one back in I think January, but a good mover. So we actually have a sled sprint. So picking a weight that you can push across the turf at a consistently moving pace. It shouldn't be ultra light, but shouldn't be ultra heavy. If you're ever wondering what you should do here, kind of aim for a little bit on the lighter side. And then we have that 200 meter run, which also should be a fairly hard push. And then we have a 100-foot D-ball carry, and we are going to have you guys hugging that today. But if you're challenging yourself to go a little bit heavier and you want to run with it, then maybe just extend the distance out to 200. And then we have as many row cows on that 4th minute, followed by a minute of rest, rinse, repeat, and we're doing that for 8 rounds. So a lot of rounds here, guys. So realistically on that row for calories, this whole thing should start out minute 1 really hard. Minute 2, we're going to kind of push. Minute 3 is going to be where the recovery starts to begin. We're going to be doing some carrying with those bracing and carrying. And then the row cows should really, it says AMRAP, but you should try to push that at 75, 80% and start your recovery period on the row. We're just trying to say hey, can we be consistent from that 1st round to the 8th round on those row calories? On Friday, we're going to be doing back squats on the 2.5 minutes, 5 sets of 8, starting at 60% and building. We are going to be heavier than we were for those sets of 4 or the 4 sets of 8. So we are going to push a little bit heavy here today, guys, a little bit more volume. We are kind of keep hammering those things out. So just, listen to yourself. We shouldn't really be pushing to failure because 60% should be hittable. And then you're just going to try to build slowly and steadily to that tough set. Even if you had to spend a couple sets at the same weight, kind of gearing up for that 8 rep max. And that's what we're going to do. After that, quick hard hitter here with the deadlifts, roughly 70 to 75%, and then a 100-meter run, or you could do 6 shuttles. So just depending on setup and where we're at, that's what we'll do. When we look at how long should a round take, each round should be roughly starting out a minute. I mean, obviously it'd be a little bit faster with the deadlifts, and as the deadlifts increase, it's going to get a little bit slower, especially if you get to 5s, 5 at that 70 to 75% is where that's going to get pretty tough. But we look at this as potentially being able to do anywhere from 7 to 8, 9, 10 rounds, somewhere around there. Push that deadlift weight to something challenging, but we shouldn't see anyone breaking down. So if if you feel like your form's breaking down or it's going to break down, err on the side of caution and just really work on a nice strong pull. Even doing singles the entire time here is totally fine. You can do quick singles, not having to worry about that touch and go. If you feel like your back breaks down on touch and goes, then obviously just hit that heavy, hard pull, and then you're just getting onto those tired legs and running a short distance, okay? And if we do the shuttles, which I'm hoping that's what we'll be able to do logistically, I think that's really good because we can work on turning and moving quickly. Saturday, we have the Harper is going to be the hero WOD of the day. We obviously have a modified version, jumping chest to bars, power cleans, air squats, and run. With this, again, we try to talk about teams of 2 going into these, especially if you guys have been hitting it pretty hard, and just working on movement quality and execution and transition times with the partner. All right, so we have 18 chest to bars broken up however you want, 30 power cleans broken up however you want, 21 air squats. We're actually going to push synchronized there. And then we have a 400-meter run where you're going to be carrying a plate and you guys can switch off and trade however you want to. Again, if you're coming in and you've hit it every single day this week, I highly suggest you do the team version and you just push movement quality and you have fun with your friends. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're getting in some movement, we're getting in some quality reps, we're getting in some movement pairings, especially when we look at these hero WODs, some of these movement pairings that we don't typically hit. That are very compounding, especially in this one today. So you should feel a lot of grip fatigue. But again, if you're breaking it up with a partner, it's going to be a lot more manageable. Obviously, the power clean can always be moved to a hang power clean. I know we've done power cleans this week, and we did deadlifts the day before. So before you guys even say anything, it's totally fine to do things like that. Again, this should be a light power clean, so it should be more of a aerobic piece to the power clean opposed to a weight component. So make sure that you're choosing a power clean weight that is light enough to cycle and move really well. We will have some fatigue from the day before. So just kind of keep that in mind, is that we're really just looking at movement quality, breathing, and keeping the intensity up while you're working. All right, that's it for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed these. Please let us know, and we'll see you in the gym.